Right. So British politics in 2024 is not about immigration, it's not about homelessness, it's not about child poverty, the cost of living, or Tory sleaze. It's about what's going on 2,235 miles away. It's about the Israel-Gaza situation. It, I agree, for goodness sake. It's not a British problem. We should have no input on what happens miles and miles away. The fact that it's dominating both sides of the house is a disgrace to people who are struggling in this country, who are going through the worst time in this country, probably the worst financial crisis since World War II. And we need to act on this. I would like to read an email sent to Andrea Jenkins, MP, from one of her constituents, and I do apologise, but there is some harsh language in this email. Dear Dame Jenkins, I hope you are doing well. I've been facing anti-Semitism for a long time now in Morley. That got your attention, you dirty little posh white slut. I hope your little boy Clifford is getting molested at school by his black and brown nannies. That would teach you a thing about multiculturalism. Maybe he might get raped by a refugee. We know where you are and your filthy little Clifford, and we all hope Hamas comes for you and your lot. Not signed. And that is what the British public are facing now. We are facing a threat which has been around for a long time, and people are only starting to cotton on now, and that is Islamic extremism. Islamic extremism is starting to be embedded more in the education system and in universities. Students are bullied to fly the Palestinian flag, to read the Quran, to essentially convert from Christianity into Islam. Fun fact, the Palestinian flag has flown more in British universities than anywhere else in the Middle East. So, yeah, take that as what you will. Islam employ mafia-style tactics to recruit their young people, be it intimidation, violence, threatening behaviour. This is all, I know this is true because I go to university and I see these tactics employed firsthand. So I know all of this is true, and I have friends that come to me and speak about the Muslim students in their class and how they try to force their ideology onto other students. Islam is an ideology which promotes hatred towards women, hatred towards democracy, hatred towards Western civilizations. In the streets of London, they actually chant to kill us. From the river to the sea, that chant is a genocidal chant, and that is embraced as anti-establishment, anti-Israel, but it's actually promoting the death of Jews in Israel, and I think that that's going unpunished is another failure in British civilization. Going back the past 20 years, we've had countless terrorist attacks caused by Islamic extremism. Lee Rigby, the Manchester Arena, London Bridge, the park in Norwich, the killing of David Amos. Yet every time this happens, nothing is done about it. There's no repercussions on Islamic extremism. If anything, there's more focus put on far-right extremism. Now, I know far-right extremism exists, but the threat to our country, as I've listed just then, is Islamic extremism and terrorism. Islamophobia is a new word which has been around about in the pipeline for about 5 years now. Under the Oxford English Dictionary, Islamophobia is defined as a fear of Islam and Muslims. How can you not be afraid when you're scared to go to big events, you're scared to go to football matches, you're scared to go to Christmas markets now? They even attack Christmas markets in our celebrations. They're having to impose bollards there to stop cars from ramming in to the Christmas markets after what happened in Germany. More police patrolling our airports, more police patrolling our railway stations. 20 years ago, this didn't happen, but the slow the slow empowerment of Islamic extremism has taken over our country. Christianity is painted out as the dangerous religion now. Christianity is, in an education point of view, is the religion of extremism. That's being taught to our children. Islam is the religion of peace, the religion of anti-war. I don't know where they're getting their information from. Islam is not able to integrate successfully in a Western society. As I said, they hate everything we stand for. They hate Britain, they hate the monarchy, they hate voting, they hate our establishment, they hate that we are doing well for ourselves, and they see that and they want to reverse that. And I'm using hate in the literal sense, they absolutely hate us. Their whole ideology is to multiply and eventually take over. You read the Quran. In the pages of the Quran, there are certain passages that hint to them taking over and killing non-believers, people that take Allah's name in vain. And look what happened in Batley. I stood in Batley in Spain in 2021, and there was a grammar school where a teacher showed a picture of Muhammad, and now he was fired from that school. There was a mob of Islamic protesters outside school calling for the head of that teacher. If you do that in the Middle East, if you show a picture of Muhammad in the Middle East, or you desecrate Islam in any form, they will cut your head off, and that's what they're trying to do here. Recently, there was a by-election in Rochdale. Rochdale has been the focus of the grooming gang scandal. 95% of grooming gangs in the United Kingdom are Islamic, Pakistani based. It's socially acceptable in their countries to sex traffic 9-year-old girls, rape 9-year-old girls, and they're trying so hard to bring that culture over here. That's why I say multiculturalism with these people cannot happen. And please don't be fooled with George Galloway being elected. It's not a victory for democracy. If anything, it's a victory and a key in the door for Islamic extremism to enter its way into our political system. We've got to put a stop to it now. It starts in Rochdale, it ends in Rochdale. Our freedom is slowly being replaced by a force that practices hate and destruction. Don't let Rishi Sunak tell you otherwise. 2 weeks ago, he was outside number 10 and said the biggest threat to our country is Islamic extremism and far-right extremism. No, the biggest threat to this country is Islamic extremism, full stop. Yeah. Our political leaders, Sadiq Khan being namely one of them, empowers Islam in our capital city. Look what's happening recently with Ramadan celebrations. He's out in the street, he's decorating the streets of London to look like a country in the Middle East. Where are the Easter celebrations? We are a Christian nation. We celebrate Easter as a Christian holiday, yet Ramadan is the first thing on Sadiq Khan's list to celebrate. That is our capital city. And Peter Richardson came up before and said, played that song, Red, White and Blue. Back in 1940, Britain was British. Now, 2024, Britain has lost itself. A huge number of people who arrive on our shores practice Islam. They are bred to hate Western civilization. Yet if they hate our country and hate the people in this country, why are they risking their lives on the channel to come to this country? I'll tell you one thing, there's 3 answers in my mind. Number 1, handouts. Number 2, easier to recruit. And number 3, they can practice what they preach. October 7th in Gaza. I don't like to talk about it, but we have to. What we saw in Gaza what Hamas did in Gaza was in Israel, yeah, was the destruction of a people. They took children, they beheaded children, they took hostages, they killed men, women and children in the name of their religion. Now that was in the Middle East. Looking at the numbers of Islamic extremists in this country now, how easy would it be to repeat the events of October 7th in this country? Very easy, and that scares me. So if being Islamophobic is being scared of Islam, I am scared of Islam. I attended a student protest in Manchester the 10th of February, and there was a student who was kicked out of the University of Manchester for free speech issues. So we were doing our protest. All of a sudden, 1,000, and I'm not being dramatic here, 1,000 pro-Palestinian protesters stormed our little protest, which was no more than 50 people. They attacked us with sticks, they threw eggs at us, and I've never feared for my life, ever, but that day was the scariest day of my life. And these are supposed to be people who are protesting for peace, yet they attack us in our own country. Now that's one occasion. This happens all throughout the country. Martin Daubney went outside the Parliament Square and interviewed pro-Palestinian protesters to find out why they were protesting. He was egged, he was spat on, people wanted to kill him, and openly said, "I hate your kind, we want to kill your kind." Your kind is a bit racist, may I add. So we are living side by side by people that want us dead.
And sorry, that was Patrick Christie's, not Daubney.
Daubney was there as well.
Yes.
Daubney was there.
Yes. Yeah. He said it on TV News.
Yeah, Patrick Christie's did the same, and I didn't say that, but I guarantee the same would have been done with Patrick Christie's. We need to stop this now. It is too late to stop them coming in this country and practicing this destructive ideology. But as I said, it starts in Rochdale, it ends in Rochdale. The only way to do it is to combat it head on. That means standing in elections against these people. That means denying the chance for them to spread, the chance for them to use their power to spread this hateful message. So if you can take anything away from this speech, it's let's defeat Islamic extremism now. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.